Search and Survive is a cooperative deck-building game for 1 to 4 players set in a post-apocalyptic zombie-infested world called the Wasteland. In the game, players try to rescue other survivors, fight off the encroaching zombie horde, and attempt to achieve their objective for the game session. During the game, each player will take on a role that adds its own unique abilities, like the Scrapper or the Medic. Search and Survive adds some exciting new features to the popular deck-building genre, namely line of sight, dice rolling, and the use of only one currency, combat. Attacks are made using a combination of card stats and dice rolls, making combat exciting and risky, since players take damage when they fail an attack. The luck aspect of the dice can be mitigated by rescuing survivors and having their abilities at your disposal. Survivors, along with locations, permanently add their strength to your own once acquired. Of course, the word permanently can be misleading. The appearance of event walkers can drastically change the lay of the land. Before we go any further, let's talk about the play area, also called the Wasteland. There's a resource row where weapons, locations, and items spawn, and 2 rows where zombies and survivors spawn, called the back row and the front row. Each game round is divided into 2 parts, the player turns and the horde phase. During a player turn, the active player will first draw cards, then activate cards in their hand, then trade with another player if desired, and lastly, move on to the attack phases. After all the players have taken their turn, or turns as in the case with less than 4 players, the horde phase begins. Zombies get to activate their abilities against the players, and then have a chance to advance. If they make it off of the play area, then they deal damage to the players. Combat is performed using a combination of cards and dice rolls. For ranged attacks, the active player chooses a primary weapon for the turn, then adds all of the ranged weapon cards together and combines their attack bonuses. Though only the primary weapon adds its ability to the attack, each other ranged weapon contributes its attack bonus. The total attack bonus from cards added to the attack roll combines to make a total attack value, which is compared to the target's defense value. If the attack meets or exceeds the target's defense value, then the attack is a success. If an attack clears a path to the resource row, then the player gets to take the resource found there and adds it to their discard pile for future use. When the player's deck is depleted, their discard pile is shuffled to form a new deck, thus adding newly acquired cards to the rotation. Players start off with only ranged combat capabilities, but melee weapons can be found in the world during gameplay. During the horde phase, zombies use their abilities to wear down the players. Some zombies, like the Spitter, deal damage to a single player with its ability during this phase, while the Exploder can explode and deal considerable damage to all players at once. The Stalker will kill adjacent survivors that couldn't be rescued, and event walkers can truly rain on an already rainy parade. After the zombies use their abilities, they advance. Players must work together to decide the best way to combat the horde. Sometimes a player must focus on healing themselves, rescuing a survivor, or acquiring a much-needed card, instead of attacking a priority target. Other players must compensate or the zombies will become too strong. If left unchecked, zombies will advance in too great a number to be stopped. The players will lose if any one player takes all 10 of their damage cards, and the players will be victorious if the objective chosen for the session is completed. It will take a little luck, a lot of cooperation, and a good deal of searching to survive this new world.